welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm so excited you decided to join me today. I'm very tired. I just got back from a long run, and I also just saw some things that are going to cause my anxiety to spiral. But I'm going to record this video in hopes that I take some deep breaths. It's going to be okay. It's really not going to be okay, but it just is coming to terms with things that I've known and have known. But I still don't like to accept those things. Good thing I have therapy tomorrow. Oh my god. Not doing okay, but we're gonna get through it. Anyway, this is an apartment in The Sims. We're building it in Evergreen Harbor. I imagined it was just a single Sim who's in a long distance relationship. But yeah. Here we are. We're doing the kitchen first. This is also a different layout than I normally do. I'd normally do the living room over on this side. But instead I did the kitchen over here. I wanted to try something a little bit different. I also never used the corner piece cabinet like how it's supposed to be intended. So it's kind of cool to try to do that in the corner counter there. Kind of a wraparound kitchen. I've been trying to do some different, more interesting kitchen shapes. Even though it's probably not totally realistic. I mean, maybe it is. I also use these really fancy chairs that I probably wouldn't normally use, and then these woven curtains. And you'll see here in a second that I was gonna try, well, it's gonna probably be a little bit longer, but I tried to use these vines as the curtain, and it just didn't quite fit how I wanted to. I ended up using it in the guest room / office. But we could just get some simple lace curtains up here in the kitchen, so it looks nice. But yeah, I just imagined it was a single Sim in a long distance relationship. So yeah, I mean, long distance relationships don't really make that much sense in The Sims because you can just insta travel, but in real life they would make sense. Yeah, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up. This is so good, so much fun, and I'm not doing great. But alas, how are you guys doing? What's up with you? What's new with you? I am sorry I wasn't able to post last week because of The Sims being broken because of the update with the marketplace. I haven't bought anything from the marketplace yet, and I'm not sure if I really want to go and look and see if I want to buy something from the marketplace. I feel I don't know, just the idea of making custom content a paid option in game. I mean, it's kind of good, I guess, for console players, since they're not able to have custom content, but still it just doesn't feel good. I'm not a fan of it. But we're finishing up the kitchen here. I end up putting some knives on the wall, and I end up trading up these vases for these little globe things that come from Movie Hangout. I've been wanting to do that for a while, but it never would block the counter, so I thought it was a perfect time to put it there. And then I go over to the living room. I use this Paranormal couch. I was like, should I use it? And I end up using it. I'm going, if you can't tell, for this pink and blue color scheme, and it's so cutesy. I was going to use this frame TV that came with the Alice in Wonderland kit, but it just is a little bit too big, I think, for the space. I should have tried sizing it down and seeing if it worked then, but it just didn't quite fit. I couldn't make it fit how I wanted to, so I ended up swapping it for just a regular base game one, and then I used the pastel pop tile table. I used a lot of pastel pop in this build, or a decent amount of it, I should say. I didn't use a lot, but just a good chunk of it. I ended up swapping out that bookcase for the pastel pop one, and I was maybe I'll use different curtains. I was nah, we're gonna use the same curtains because they're just so cute. I don't even remember. Oh, I get a fluffy rug in here because I was oh, these patterns are not quite what I want. Fluffy rug, always a fluffy rug. And then the pastel pop bookshelf comes back. We get some little poofs in the corner for an extra seating, a plant in the other corner. I also imagined that this Sim had a dog, and so I put in a food bowl and a pet toy storage, and then a whole bunch of balls and stuff around for the dog to play with. I imagined it was kind of a little bit bigger of a dog. Maybe it'd be a husky or something. Honestly, I was probably more a Bernese Mountain Dog, but that's the dog that I have. I was kind of decorating it for myself, which makes it more fun. I feel I can, when I have a Sim in mind, or myself in mind, when I'm decorating it, it just makes it more fun to do. And then I get this fun little table, and I was gonna put the tissues there, but then I was like, if my dog saw those tissues on the coffee table, she would shred them. So then I put the receipts on there. So honestly, not much better, but for some reason she would leave receipts alone, and like napkins, tissues, like anything like that. She's all about it. And then this little corner room, I imagine you could set up as an office, but I gave it as like the dog's room, which I mean is kind of sad because it doesn't have any windows or anything, but I don't know. I feel like also the large dog beds are hard to fit into places. So using them in here. Then I give them like that little cat lamp and then dog poster and another toy box and some balls in there. And then like the shelf with the leash on it and a little accent wall. I end up doing the accent wall all along the back. And then we go in, we do this little hallway, I do the picture frame, and then I think that's from Cool Kitchen and a little plant, and that's pretty much it. We come back and do put a rug in there, and now we're going into the only bathroom. I was gonna attempt to do that like 2x1 room over there as laundry, but it just didn't quite work out that way, so it ends up being a closet instead. Oh my gosh. I could take a nap. I like got a decent amount of sleep last night, but I really did not want to get up this morning. But I did end up getting up, sadly, and then I went for my long run, which was good. My feet are sore from it, though. And I also use the toilet that comes from Snow Escape, so it has a bidet built into it. Very fancy. I don't know why. I was like, we'll use this, and then I use the base game painting, and then we're going back out here, and I'm using kind of an odd-shaped rug. And then that was me realizing that the roofing on this apartment building is just, like, the roofing texture that just comes on the generic roof, which is kind of crappy, if you ask me. And then I ended up using a Murphy bed in here. I feel like I never use Murphy beds unless it's in a tiny home. But I felt like a Murphy bed in the guest room just makes so much sense. And then it really didn't fit that way. And I really wanted to do like these built-ins. I thought it looked so cool. And then I was like, I can't just make the primary bedroom smaller than the freaking guest room. So then I ended up deleting the bookcases, throwing the Murphy bed in the corner because like you could scoot if you're like using this as like an actual guest room. You're like not going to have it down that much. But having like a couch in there, I imagine then the dog could come and like chill on the couch while their mom was on the computer, because they give them a pretty nice computer setup, because I imagine that they would be like on calls or something, or maybe they work from home. Also gave them some plants and like a yoga mat and here's where I finally use those vines as the curtains, and a record player, and just a whole bunch of really cutie stuff. Like I would love to live in this apartment. It's just so cute. It's got such a great setup too. And then I added like a whole bunch of stuff from the Cozy Gamer kit, which is the little Simsy kit. And I added a little pride flag. And I was searching for a while for like an LED sign to put on the pegboard, because that's literally what I have in my office. But I just couldn't find one that I liked and that would fit. And I left the footage in there just to show you that I was trying to do something and it ended up not working. So I just literally left the pegboard alone. I was like, okay, that's fine. Just, you can exist there. And then I went and I found the LED lights. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning again. LED lights, and I just put them on the one wall. Oh, I also put the salt lamp over there on the record player, which I thought was cute. And then I put the LED lights up on the wall. And I didn't change the colors or anything. I thought the white was kind of nice in there. And then we go into the primary bedroom, and this is the last room of the build. I use this really pretty high school years bed and end tables. I get, the really fancy mirror from City Living, and then like a big dresser from high school years again. And then I get a plant, and I end up putting a chair there, and then I put, at the very end, you'll see I put, like, a laundry basket on it, because that is totally realistic of, like, what would happen if I had a chair in my room that would just, like, be full with clothes, like, you know, like the generic chair where just, like, the clothes are too clean to be washed, but too dirty to be hung back up. And I put some gallery walls up, some lamps, or actually, I think it's a candle, and some other clothes. Here's where I put the chair in, but this is pretty much all that's left. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more. I post Sims content every Sunday. And Stardew Valley expanded Let's Play on Wednesdays. Also, all of the information to get this build off of the gallery will be in the description box below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye!